Hello, all, and welcome back to my Vanilla City Skylines tutorial series. If you're playing on console or if you're playing on PC, the tips will help you a ton. So let's get going back into it. Last episode, we introduced the Park Life DLC. My number one suggestion for DLCs is the Park Life DLC. I highly suggest it. Really easy to abuse if you want to make some money. However, it's just really great for from a beneficial perspective for your city. It's really awesome. Big fan. As this goes up in levels too, so as you notice right now, it doesn't have the greatest, so we'll hit play. It doesn't have the absolute greatest park radius. The buildings really close to it do, but as this levels up, it'll start to encroach on some of these background buildings. And you notice this building just levels up, and that probably has to do with this park giving it entertainment. So that's what we went over last episode. This episode is going to be entirely based on expansion. So as I like to do when I expand, we're starting with the dirt roads. Make sure all of our guidelines are on. I'm going to drag this out. I'm going to try to make a mirror here like that. Okay. This is going to go up like this. And I'm going to do something I haven't done yet, and that's create cul-de-sac. So cul-de-sacs are roads that kind of dead end like that. So right now, this town is a cul-de-sac. And you might be thinking, huh? Well, there's only one way in or out. It's through this highway. And that's bad. That's bad for traffic flow. It would be not allowed in real life. No town or city would approve that. So that's something we're gonna have to immediately do the moment we start buying new tiles, is try to create new ways to get in and out of the town. And I've already kind of been thinking about what tile or tiles I want to buy next. I thought buying this island up would be really cool. I also thought buying this area over here would be cool because there's a bunch of oil over here, and we could build a bridge and then have another highway connection over here. So just things I'm thinking about. But I'll probably fast forward all this while I build out all of these roads, and I'll probably go back through if they do anything interesting or funky and explain why I did that. Okay, so this is kind of where I've left the grid for right now. I'm gonna add this road right here as a connector, and then I'm going to also try to split up this in the middle like here. So let me explain to you why I built the grid this way. So I did build a grid, highly efficient. However, there's a lot of variations in that, and you can kind of tell. So a lot of that is to kind of conform to how much space in grid I actually am allowed to build with this curvy path, which totally is fine with me. The other option that I've chosen to go about to do here is leave this area open, because we decided that we were going to put a zoo here, and we'll have zoo buildings on both sides of the road. So we'll have to think about how we want to actually utilize that at the end of the day. And we might have to expand out the peninsula a little bit before we place the buildings, because if we do place something I didn't bring up earlier in the last episode, if you do place these park buildings on the side of the road here, they won't pay to enter the park. They only pay when they go through the park side gate. So that is something really important. I forgot to bring that up. So we don't want to place those aquatic zoo buildings right on the road, because losing out on money. So we want to make sure that they're entering an actual park. So that's something that we're probably going to have to keep in mind. But anyways, we've left this area open. We have this grid. It's looking great. We're going to keep the industrial area up over here for now. We'll probably have to connect this up at some point. And the grid is not completely uniform. So obviously we have these little cul-de-sacs that kind of poke out, and that's just to fill in the grid. And we don't have a lot of crossway connections. We only have 2. We have this road and this road. And these 2 roads are going to be our main connector roads that take us from across town. We want to make sure that traffic is using these as their collector roads. So we're already planning and we're thinking about how we're laying out these districts so that way traffic, we know which way, already off the top of our head, how traffic's going to flow, right? We know traffic's going to take this road to get north to south, because that's the way that you can actually get to this bottom road if you want to do it. So these are going to be the main roads that they actually take north to south. And we know that they're going to take these roads to go east to west because they're the only roads that actually go across town. So unless they want to be doing a bunch of zigzagging through neighborhoods, which the traffic AI doesn't want to do, they're going to end up taking these straight shot roads. So if we had connected this road here, they would probably take that. However, they have to go up and over, and that's going to be a longer trip. So they're going to try to prioritize these roads. So that's something important to think about when planning traffic for the future, is forcing traffic onto roads that you know ahead of time are going to be higher density, and then planning for that. That will help prevent a lot of gridlock. So these roads are going to be our priority roads, and I will show you guys how to prioritize them once we get everything set up. So this area is going to need a couple things, and we don't have enough money yet to take care of those things. Those things are going to be fire department, police station. Actually, police station we might not need. Honestly, you don't really need that many police stations in this game, especially once you unlock the prison with the Industries DLC. You really just don't need a lot of jails. However, you do need a lot of fire stations, so we are going to have to put a fire station over here. We're going to have to put a medical clinic probably over here as well, just for people's happiness. It would be really good. A good place to put them would be very close, but not on these collector roads, so that way the traffic that comes in and out of those buildings doesn't really affect it. These collector roads are really good spots to build commercial buildings. We're going to leave this area open, obviously. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's how I wanted to expand this area out. So next thing I'm going to do is start building our water infrastructure out and over all of this area. So we're gonna follow the road here, and then I'm gonna start filling it in, and that will be another time lapse. So let's start doing it. Brief pause in the time lapse. So the one thing that we are going to be making sure that we're mindful of is that we will be adding natural disasters DLC to this. And when you have natural disasters that hit your city, sometimes it's better to make so if you don't have natural disasters, you could just make this as efficient as you wanted of a water infrastructure. However, with natural disasters DLC, meteors, earthquakes, sinkholes, they'll destroy your water infrastructure, and that could be catastrophic for your city. So something important to think about when planning ahead for that DLC is to make sure you have as many connections as possible, so that way it doesn't just catastrophically break your grid. I am going to break from my idea of building, not idea, this is just how they do it in real life, building water infrastructure under the road to build it under the park, because the park buildings in the center do need it. And I don't care that much to do that. So there we go. So now we can kind of start planning where we think that commercial centers should be. I think right here should be one. And we'll probably expand that out a little bit. Probably down here. I think that's going to be a good spot for a commercial. I think that this area is going to get upgraded to much higher density at some point anyways. So, especially because I think I built it in a really good way to handle lots of traffic. So, I plan on these being high density at some point anyways. And I think with the skyline, I'm actually thinking so far ahead that I'm thinking about how I want to place the commercial buildings, because they will be taller than the low density residential buildings. And I just want a nice looking skyline, you know? So here's something that happened when we were building these roads. They didn't make a perfect grid. So in order to solve that problem, bring that up, connect that up, and now it's not a perfect grid here. So we know that the road distance here is a little wonky. So what we can do is bring that to here, bring that to here, connect that up, And now there's a little gap. That's okay. I'm okay with the little gap. It's just so that way we can make these 4x4 buildings rather than like a random 2 pocket and then a 4 pocket after it. If you ever end up with like weird road lengths like that, it's always due to road guidelines for the most part. So feel free to just toggle that one off and it'll solve your problem. Now the grid matches these back buildings. We got the same issue over here. So again, and go out, let's go 160, 160, connect it up, a little pocket right there. I don't really like where that made it. Let's see if we can fix that. Still trying to prioritize that. It's because this node's there. Build it there instead. Oh, really wants that. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm matching it up to where it is over here, and then I'll make a second one. Try it again. There we go. Sometimes it's just trial and error, and that's why I like building with the dirt roads, because sometimes you make a mistake and it can really just affect your whole city. So build some more commercial infrastructure here, and I think place some here along the coast. Now, when I build cul-de-sacs like this, where it just kind of ends, what I always like to do is take a walking path. Sometimes Anarchy doesn't like that. And just build that down. So that way people can walk across if they want to, because they can't drive through, but we're okay with pedestrians walking through because they're not going to cause traffic issues. So, and sometimes you don't even have to build it that close to the road and it'll connect up. If you're paranoid about it not looking perfect, then you can obviously fiddle with it as much as you want. So we're gonna do the same thing down over here with this guy. And you could do these as pavement, you could do these as dirt. Matter. Got that rock. Dang, I was trying to save those rocks, but that's okay. So there's our little walking paths to connect point A and point B. Sometimes I even like to do that at intersections. So like notice how there's an intersection here and an intersection here. You just draw a walking path straight through. These corner joints, I usually like to also. You have 2 options when doing this. You can use the grid guideline and bring it down to there, and it will connect. However, it'll create this weird, like, I don't even know what to call this shape. But it can look a little funky. The other option that you could do would be to actually just take up some of the grid zoning and build it. This should be connected. I know it looks funky, but you can actually see there's like a little difference in ground texture right there. Even though it doesn't have the gravel path, it is connected. So you can also do that. I like to make sure that there is as much pedestrian infrastructure as possible because that will keep them off the roads. And the less cars that are on the roads, the better. And don't fear about not getting the maximum use of your grid. These pedestrian paths will, trust me, they will save you in the long run a lot of time and stress. So as many as you can make, just do it. You're not really eating up that much in terms of the grid. We still have so much grid, so don't worry too much about it. So I think those are going to be our commercial centers for this area. Maybe we'll build some more over here as well. And then I think we'll put some more over here by this park. I always like to put commercial by the parks because you're already getting a ton of traffic over there. And sometimes I don't like to zone up here because maybe it'll spawn a 3-wide building and that'll look better rather than a really tiny building next to a big deep one. So there we go. I think that's where we're going to build all of our commercial, and we can start zoning residential, obviously. Now, before we let everything take over, the first thing I want to do, the very first thing I want to do, place one residential building. So that way we can make sure our power grid is safely connected. Or place it right here. Grab that. Not enough money. That there. And there we go. So now we have a power grid over here. And slowly do this. So the thing is that doing this with the game on and doing it slow will help reduce death waves, which is something we talked about earlier in the series. Death waves occur when you build an entire new area of residential all at one time. They all come at the same age, they all age at the same age, they all die at the same age. Unless you use childcare and elder care, which is something that we can talk about later, which is a newer addition to the game that's really helpful for preventing death waves. So let's just start zoning now. And I'm only going to zone as needed to start. I don't want to zone more than they're actually building at the time to try to balance out that death wave. We always need to make sure that we're looking at our energy and power and our water and our budget. I have everything at 100 right now, so everything's good. This will slowly start to plummet, but we have our new wind turbines, advanced wind turbines now, which are much more efficient at producing power. If you really want to min-max things, you can destroy the wind turbines and then just build these guys. Before things get too far, we are going to finish connecting this road up to here. So let's build this road out as far as we want to. 10's probably good. And then let's build this guy out. There we go. All right, so now we have that road connection that goes all the way down and out. This is not going to be the most efficient road for people, but it will be a road people can use. One thing I am going to do also is build a singular walking path from here all the way up here. We don't have any roads cross-connecting, so I want to make sure pedestrians have the option to walk across to work if they want to. Again, the more options you give people to get out of cars, it is really going to save you in traffic flow. Now, remember, when people move in, you do get a surge of traffic, so don't think that your traffic infrastructure isn't built properly. Sometimes you just get a surge of traffic when you build new buildings, and that goes away. So as long as you don't have catastrophic issues starting, then don't worry about it. Expand out some more industrial because the city is calling for it. Water infrastructure is good for now. Our power is fine for right now. We're good on elementary availability. However, it's not spread out the best. So we're going to have to spread it out a little better. High school availability is also fine, but we're going to end up putting a high school down over here anyways. I'm going to stay quiet, probably fast forward this while we expand to our next upgrade. Before I forget, let's turn this area into its own district. Be mindful that buildings on this side of the road are in this district. And what's the name? The game gonna name it Barlow Hills. All right. We're gonna end up renaming all these once we name the city. Heck, if you have suggestions for districts, put them down in the comments. And there we go. We have hit Busy Town. Look at that. City planning policies have been unlocked. Level 4 unique buildings, leisure and tourism unique buildings, sightseeing tour buses, oil industry specialization, free public transit policy, heavy traffic ban policy, boost connections policy. We've unlocked a ton of new roads. We've unlocked sound barrier highways, bus lanes, roads with trees, one ways, with grass. So we've unlocked the upgraded decor roads, and we'll explain those probably in the next episode. And we unlocked all of the upgraded utility buildings. So like hospitals, fire stations, these will service a much larger area and a much larger population. So in higher density areas, these larger buildings are going to be far more useful. We've unlocked the sightseeing buses now, the oil power plant, and a tropical gardens park. So yeah, that's where we're going to probably end today's episode. Next episode, we're going to try to hit the big town goal. We'll see if we can actually hit big town in this peninsula. I've zoned some more area that hasn't filled in yet, but that's okay. Oh, here we go. Something to keep in mind is that if you don't build that path, I didn't build that path all the way down. I accidentally misclicked and built it up. However, the path auto-connected. But because I didn't place the node here, it didn't fill in that entire spot. So it would have built a house over the path, and I don't know that pedestrians would have walked through the house. So glad I caught that. I'll actually rebuild that so we don't have to even think or worry about that issue. There we go. Problem solved. Got some commercial down here that's not getting built. That's okay. As residential moves down here, it'll be as big of an issue. We'll zone that up. All right, cool. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. I hope you guys are learning a lot. If you are new to the game, tell me if you still have questions. Let me know in the comments. If you're not new to the game and there's something I missed, let me know. Tell me if I forgot something or if I said something wrong, and I'll make sure to pin it and address it in the next episode and the next episode that we release. The very next episode that we release will have the new name. It will have the new name. The poll is up, and right now one's leading, and one doesn't have any votes, and the other two are tied. So let's see how things change. Let's see how things update as the poll goes through, and then I'll let you guys know. All right, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.